watch it 2 or 3 minutes. Nobody wants to be inundated with a ton of information or a huge long piece or get diverted to a bunch of other websites. If you have it right there in front of you and you see something that's easily accessible and you can just click on that, watch something that's short, concise, and then you can get the information. Then you can follow along and go to 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 of those, but you don't have to, kind of wade through all this and get lost on a website. I find that too many of these websites are just tons and tons and tons of information, and as opposed to, taking the time to sort through it all, you kind of just write it off and then move on to something else.
The WordPress section will be mainly text-based, and then the normal SC site will be what you're speaking about, more of the videos and the happenings of what's going on immediately.
But even if it was just local faces, because I know a lot of us that have been going to meetings and kind of attending events and stuff, there's a lot of familiar faces, and if you see the people that are directly involved with you, you see, even if it's just them, 2 people sitting down in their living room, kind of talking about what happened last week, it really helps you identify with them and then want to get involved, because you're going to see them next week. Be able to talk to them.
We do put videos that we do intend on doing that. We also though intend on doing the text-based because it is a fact that people want to communicate within the community. So we're going to split it to do both things. As you can see, we've got cameras all over here videotaping.
Right, and I just think that, I've just seen numerous. I was just on the Comedy Central website, which is a different example, and I stayed there just because it was 2 minutes. It was really entertaining, and then switched, and then I had the option to follow that and keep going, or but it was right there, easy, right in front.
And that will be made easy exactly the same way we're talking.
I do think also the short is definitely good because I definitely agree with 1 bite at a time. But then there are times where you do want more information, and so there's obviously it's very difficult to find information about certain topics on it. So any way we can have more resources, maybe not just right there in your face, but in a page deeper you have 50 different other sites that go into different topics a lot deeper. Cite law citing, tax code, things like that.
And what I'd like to see on that is not just it going that in a form that only lawyers can understand it. I want to have translations so that the average person can read it. That's what this means. So I want to take off in the translation. Let's go too.
Relative to all those things that the nice young lady up front brought up about the senior citizens, I'm curious about how many senior citizens actually visit websites and are able to navigate through all these things that we're talking about. One thing I was thinking about is typically when I work with senior citizens, it's typically, let's get in front of them. Let's give a seminar, something educational to where they can ask the questions directly. Is a senior citizen actually going to type up all those blogs necessarily and communicate back and forth and be on their BlackBerry 24 hours a day? No, that's not how they're going to find out their information. So I'm more curious about maybe there's some other ways. I know this doesn't tie to the website, but you can have lists of educational seminars that the senior citizens, you go toward them and give them presentations, make it easy. And she's got a great point that senior citizens are a whole, I don't say untapped resource, but that's a huge voting power together. Those are the people that when one joins, everybody joins together. And they vote. Everybody votes them. So it's in a way, I think it's a huge, powerful point, but we've got to get the message in the way they receive it the best. Just like you guys are talking about when us passing over things on websites, it's even, let's just get back to, maybe we just need to, the website's great, but also have some educational seminars that tie to what their needs are, to what their questions are, and can get it answered right there on the spot.
Before I respond, where you go ahead?
That would work really good with his other groups pulled together. Got an educational, tactical, whatever group that we pull together. If we were to organize it, have someone call ahead of time, we could set up to where we tour that group and we go from community to community, giving speeches and giving a little meeting for the community itself. Awesome. And that way we do make a change, community to community.
But we need people to facilitate those.
There has to be bodies.
Absolutely. That's where I was getting to next. What's your name?
Jory.
Jordan.
Jory.
Jory?
Yeah.
Jory, come on up here.
I knew that was coming.
Jory has a good idea. How many of you guys like that idea?
Well, I think he's got a great point. It's community by community. That's how you have to do it. Whether it is, I was just focusing on senior citizens because I thought you had a great point on their voting power. And I think that's a huge factor we're coming up on a lot of legislation that's going to be voted, especially for the medical community. Not even just legislation on the legalization of the medical community. I mean, that's a huge factor. And I know a lot of senior citizens that medicate, and it's amazing to do that rather than taking Oxycontins, morphines, all those other things that are just poisonous to your body. So I think it's just a huge thing, and I love the fact that you're here and supporting this movement because it really can help. It really can, add a different lifestyle to that. So I think it's great, and I think that the tying the two together could be so huge for this community.
So do you think you could help
Absolutely.
on that committee?
Absolutely.
And
James is going to do it with me.
Yes.
And I'm going to help you with this community.
Because you know what, everything is working together, okay? We've got Nicole who does the education as well. You put everybody together and we all work in one direction. How many people are willing to help him? So can I count on some people walking up and making sure you're giving him a way to contact you guys?
Perfect.
Yes. So look at what we've done so far. We've got 2 more groups going here, 2 more committees in a little time. Rudy, you have some thought?
Yeah, can I suggest on this committee that's the third committee on it too?
Oh, absolutely.
She is a team.
Come on up here. Yeah.
See, now you know you're volunteering stuff.
Just to let you know, in this whole argument, just because of the situation, she's a team. Nobody's gonna argue with her. She kind of has, like me, nobody's gonna argue.
And Rudy, come on up here. I want to
See, you're speaking another this, huh?
say what you just said again.
There are a few people in this movement, this fight, that we consider takes. They're either in the wheelchair, where nobody can argue that they need their medication. They look like me, where you can see visual scars or burns or something like that. Nobody can argue that you need your medication. She's a take. Nobody's going to argue with someone like you that you don't need or know. It's true, just because of your age and the fact that you're taking the representation, nobody can argue with that. So in that, we need someone like you, or even you, on this committee, on that panel speaking for us.
Okay, to tell you the truth, most of the people that I'm with in San Diego, in North County are all seniors, and I have convinced probably 25% of my friends that this is what they need to do, is legalize this regulated taxes. They've come around. Now, they're going out there too, which is really great, but I need more information.
Well, that's what we can help get. We can absolutely get more. Information's easy. We can help with information and with you, so if there's questions, you're not going to handle all of it yourself.
But I'll tell you what my seniors want to know. Who does this help?
Okay.
What person, what medical thing do they have?
Yes.
That's
Absolutely.
what they want.
Well, I was just saying the way to get that information is through seminars, through newsletters, through things that are physically in person rather than through the net, which will they get lost then? Possibly, but why even take that chance? They like human connection, and I find that when you can relate to that, it's like you said, that information will click, and now it'll spread like wildfire.
The idea here really is, we take a moment to educate ourselves. Once we've got that bullet, we can go out and use it, right? We've got the tool now, right? Once we take a second to, I can show you within 5 videos, the whole history of San Diego, California, marijuana, medical marijuana, the whole deal, right? And once you're supplied with that information, you can go around and tell people, look, in 1930s, they had this guy by the name of Harry Ansley who did not like this, and he decided to make this illegal. And we're still dealing with the ramifications of those days, right? And that's the reality of the fact. A lot of people don't know the history to be able to say that.
I need confidence, and you're right. That's where I'll get my confidence, with my knowledge.
Exactly.
Get out in everybody's face.
The whole play, you come over, maybe I'll sit back with you, and we'll have a medicate and watch the grass.
Purposes set it up for anybody, educational purposes, to have a movie night.
That was where I was going to get to, because I also have this available to me on any Saturday I want, pretty much. So we've got full screens here. I have the ability to do movie here. So how many of you guys would be interested in doing that? All I have to do is talk to Makeda and set up a time. But are you guys interested in seeing a movie?
Yeah.
Do it. Let me see hands. I can't tell them. Wow. All right, now let me ask how many people are interested in helping? Wait a minute, something's not right here.